Cowboys lead the Eagles 3-0, and the Eagles continually get better field position, although they have come up empty every time. Last time they had the ball starting the drive on the Dallas 43. Now it's at the Cowboys 39. Michael Haddix, who was the #1 draft pick last year out of Mississippi State, and a good receiver out of the backfield, is the up back in the eye. Wilbert Montgomery is the deep back at the 39-yard line. Ron Jaworski to Montgomery. Jeffcoat is right there. And if anything, a loss of a yard on the play. So they go to run on the first down. And Hank, the point you made is that these teams seem to be playing not to win, but not to lose instead.
Well, so far they're very, very cautious. No question about that. And that time, what they did, they ran a counterplay to get the movement of the middle linebacker to go one way and run the ball to the other side. Jeffcoat, number 77, was right there and stuffed the play.
The Giants, when they had opportunities, you remember last week, went for the pass and went for the downs and scored many times. Now it's 2nd and 10 at the 39-yard line. Jaworski throwing on 2nd and 10. And it's intercepted by Michael Downs. Downs running it back, tackled at the 35. So Ron Jaworski, who came into the game having thrown 70 passes without an interception, has had 2 picked off in this game. This one by Michael Downs.
Well, that time he had nothing on the ball. It looked like it might have slipped out of his hand. It was a very lazy spiral. Look at it. Trying to hit Spagnola on the outside. Michael Downs comes up with the interception, and the Dallas Cowboys have possession on their own 30.
Pontiac.
When you get a Pontiac Sunbird, you get a car that's practical and easy to own. When you get a Pontiac Sunbird, you get a car that's technically advanced and carefully built. And when you get a Pontiac Sunbird, you can also get a car with 150 turbocharged horsepower. If you're so inclined. Sunbird, only from Pontiac.
We build excitement.
Pontiac.
We had our show. I was the swan.
Really? Then you got a right to chicken done right.
I make it tender, juicy, every bite.
I make fresh, hot biscuits.
And tasty, fresh coleslaw.
You got it right to chicken done right.
Nobody makes chicken like we do with the Colonel's secret blend of herbs and spices.
It's finger looking good.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
A 47-yard field goal by Rafael Septien, the only scoring. That was in the first quarter. We have 11:56 to play in the half. Following the interception by Downs, 1st and 10 Cowboys on the 35. Ron Springs went in motion. Tony Dorsett finds a hole up the middle, and Dorsett brings it out to the 42-yard line. A gain of 8. Wes Hopkins, the free safety, makes the tackle on Dorsett. Wes Hopkins, who crunching defensive player, but if he's going to be making all the tackles back there, that's not what the Eagles are looking for.
Well, that time they sold him on the idea they were going to go to the right. Ran a counter play. Jim Cooper, number 61, the right tackle, was pulling on the play. Watch what happens now. Look at Cooper, number 61, gets a piece of the linebacker, number 59, Joel Williams, and Dorsett popped through there for a nice gain.
2nd and 2, Springs in motion. Hogeboom looking downfield, completed pass. Mike Renfro, and a first down at the 36-yard line. So Mike Renfro hit by Ray Ellis. Hogeboom was determined to go downfield. He had the halfback on the swing.
Yeah, watch this now. He steps up into the pocket, and Renfro really makes a fine catch coming across the middle. And the key again, the ball was just where it had to be, right on the number. Watch him. Comes off the line of scrimmage, gets behind a double coverage. The linebacker goes in front of Bernard Wilson. The ball is right at the numbers, catches it in stride, and picks up a big first down for the Cowboys.
At the 36 of Philadelphia. Play action, Hogeboom. Going up on top for Donley, and it's knocked down. Double coverage. It was Wes Hopkins who actually knocked the ball down, and Doug Donley, White Lightning they call him, had beaten the secondary. The pass just couldn't get to him.
I think Renfro, and I think the Cowboys thought they were going to get different coverage than they actually got. Bernard Wilson was covering, and the safety came over from the backside. Number 49 made a big play, and knocked the ball down. It wasn't really, it was 48, Wes Hopkins, number 48.
Second down and 10 at the 36. That's what Hogeboom has done so far in this ball game. In motion is Mike Renfro. Is Dorsett. Lineman in front of him, and he is upended. Penalty marker is thrown in the backfield, the secondary that is, as Dorsett got inside the 35. Ray Ellis makes the play, and holding against the Dallas Cowboys. So that will send them back. Keep in mind that right now they are in field goal range for Septien, who has kicked a 52-yarder, but they're going to be moved back on this penalty.
Kurt Peterson, number 65, was out in front pulling, missed the block.
Holding, offense, number 84, second down.
Doug Cosby holding, so it is still second down, and the ball is back up at the 46-yard line. Cosby has had good games against Philadelphia. He has meant trouble for the Eagles in the past, but he told us in practice that the Eagle defenders have been holding up the tight end more.
Yeah, they're putting the pressure on him, stuffing him at the line of scrimmage, and as a result, he's not getting as much of a free release as he'd like, and he can't get in those zones nearly as quickly as he has in the past.
Second down, 20. Cosby goes in motion, and the flag. Illegal procedure against the Dallas Cowboys, another penalty against Dallas.
And that's one way not to get jammed. Talking about Cosby and the tight end, that time they sent him in motion, and it's hard to jam him unless you could put a 12th man in there, cover him with 12 people.
That's been done.
It has been, yeah.
I'm sure you did that a lot with Kansas City.
Never got caught.
Well, that's the idea, too. So now the Cowboys have been backed up to their own territory to the 49-yard line. They had the ball at the 36 of the Eagles. So they're 15 yards back now. It is still second down, but second in that much, 25. Cosby again in motion. Hogeboom with a deep drop up the middle. The pass is caught by Ron Springs, but he is caught back at the 49-yard line, so no gain on the play.
Ken Clark came very close to making an interception on that. It was a middle screen. Number 71, 6'2", 255 from Syracuse, and it looked like he might get a chance to make that interception, but just didn't.
Clark comes out, as you saw, in the Eagles' pass defense. Armstrong and Byron Darby come in up front. Fowles and Cooper in the secondary. Third down and 24. Tough spot for Hogeboom with 9:40 to play in the first half. Hogeboom going up to Cosby, who makes the catch, and Cosby is tackled at the 34-yard line. It'll be fourth down after that 17-yard pickup, but Septien will come in to try for 3.
You can't make a better play as far as coverage is concerned than Bernard Wilson that time. He was all over him, but Cosby, in spite of that, still made the catch.
So that was a good play for the Cowboys, even though they did not get the first down, because now it gives Septien a chance to give Dallas a 6-0 lead.
It's very obvious that Hogeboom really looks at the intended receiver. He's got such a great arm that he doesn't think it matters that much. He just gets the ball on the money.
This will be a 51-yard attempt, Hank. Hogeboom is holding. Septien has kicked one from 52 this year, and this kick is good. Well, he missed from 29. I guess he only likes to kick from midfield, right?
He likes those long ones.
It's 6-0 Dallas on a 51-yarder.
71 years after Alexander Graham Bell uttered, "Watson, come here," Bell Laboratories invented the transistor and ushered in the computer age.
Gentlemen, we've done it.
Well, Watson, watch us now. Today, AT&T introduces the new computers with flexibility to grow with you.
Better, Mr. Watson?
Ooh. Flexibility to combine with communications.
Yes, Watson, I see.
I've analyzed that data, Mr. Watson.
Flexibility to integrate with existing systems and form networks.
Has Watson seen this?
The new family of AT&T computers from AT&T Information Systems, when you've got to be right.
Cowboys lead at 6-0. Septien with field goals of 47 and 51 yards. With 8:48 to play in the first half, will be kicking off. Joe Hayes is deep for the Eagles out of Central State in Oklahoma. And a good kick. 3 yards in the end zone. Hayes running it out. Spinning it out. Still going, and Hayes takes it out to the 26-yard line. A good return by Joe Hayes of the Eagles. Well, CBS Sports Saturday has quite a fight coming up on September 29th at 3:30 Eastern Time. It'll be Jerry Cooney against Phil Brown, a 10-round heavyweight bout, and that's Cooney. First appearance since losing his bid to take the heavyweight title from Larry Holmes back in '82.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interest in Cooney, especially because he hasn't fought for so long, and he was an undefeated heavyweight contender, and they're anxious to see whether he can do anything now after this much of a layoff.
3 postponements caused by injuries to his hand and shoulder, but he's going to make it against Phil Brown September 29th. Carrying the ball for the Eagles, Wilbert Montgomery up the middle for a couple. Last week against Minnesota, Montgomery broke Steve Van Buren's all-time Eagle rushing record, over 6,800 yards. And Wilbert Montgomery, who did not play much in preseason, they held him out and got a good look at a rookie Andre Hardy, who they're impressed with. And Montgomery, you know, really was kept out of preseason action, so he should be in good shape.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. He missed almost all of last season. They wanted to make sure he was totally ready because he's a very, very important ingredient in their offensive scheme of things.
2nd down and 5 at the 30. Penalty flag is thrown, and once again Montgomery up the middle.
Jeffcoat, I think, was offside on the play, number 77, the defensive right end.
Eagle Eye Strand right there. The Eagles, by the way, have averaged less than 1.5 yards per play, and Ron Jaworski, who completed his first pass, has missed his next 10.
I've never seen him have that kind of an afternoon. Here we see it.
Defense, number 76, 2nd down.
So it'll be 2nd down. I think it was Jeffcoat, 77.
Yeah, they must have called Altman from being outside on the bench. He's sitting on the bench, and they must have saw him move over there. If they call it on Altman, it was 77.
He might have moved, but from one side of the bench to the other.
That's right.
2nd down and 1. Up the middle. And 1st down for the Eagles. Petey Perreault blocking up ahead for Wilbert Montgomery, who's gotten the call in every play but one of the rushing plays so far.
You know, interestingly enough, talking to Jaworski yesterday, he said that they definitely felt they had to throw the ball on 1st and 10. They've had possession on 1st and 10 9 times. They've only thrown the ball 3 times on those situations and only completed 1 pass.
1st and 10 at the 37-yard line for the Eagles, trailing 6-0. 7:17 to go. Michael Haddix is in the ball game as the lone setback, and here's a blitz coming up and a quick pass, and the pass is caught, and the whistle blows. That was Kenny Jackson, and he is close to a 1st down. And so Jaworski read the blitz well, Hank.
Well, he read it. Yeah, he read it, and the receiver, Kenny Jackson, broke off the pattern. It's a sight adjustment pattern, meaning that he sees the safety and the linebackers blitzing. He breaks off his pattern, and he threw the ball right on the money inside, and it was a sensational catch by Kenny Jackson. You see the safety man blitzing, Michael Downs, number 26, and also the linebacker. He read it perfectly.
Tell you more about Kenny Jackson, who they expect big things of. He's got a lot of speed. 1st and 10, 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. Eagles driving. They're on their own 47-yard line. And now another flag and another penalty, and this one appears to be against the Eagles, and it is. Petey Perreault, the left guard, might have moved and drawn the Cowboys offside.
Offense, number 62, 1st down.
Perreault is playing for the injured Steve Kenny, who's one of the better offensive linemen the Eagles have. Perreault, out all of last year, was a starter on Philadelphia's Super Bowl team a few years ago.
And they said yesterday, talking to Campbell, said he really wasn't concerned about Perreault playing because he's always played pretty well against Randy White.
1st down and 15. Back on the 42 for the Eagles. Cowboys lead 6-0. home opener for the Cowboys. Jaworski swings it out to Haddix. Has to turn around to make the catch. And as a result, doesn't get anything going. And there's a loss on the play. Back to the 40-yard line, 45-yard line.
See, that kind of a pass should be thrown about 1.5 yards out in front at the number so he can catch it in stride and run up the field and see what the defense is doing, and he can react accordingly. That time he had to come back for the ball. By the time he rights himself and tries to get upfield, while he loses a lot of valuable time, plus the fact that the pursuit is able to come over and make the play.
Of course, the Eagles, more weapons, obviously, with Montgomery and Spagnola back, but the whole idea is to protect Jaworski. If he doesn't get protection, forget about everything. 2nd and 12. Ball at the 45-yard line. Jaworski up the middle. Spagnola, the tight end, close to a first down. Michael Downs brings John Spagnola down, a 13-yard pickup, and it looks to be a first down, and it is for the Philadelphia Eagles. Spagnola was out all of last year with back surgery, and he caught the winning touchdown last week against the Minnesota Vikings.
You know, he's big and he's strong. He's 6'4" and 240. He's like a loose tackle playing tight end, but he has a great capacity to get open and catch the ball once it's thrown to him.
This is the Eagles' best march of the game. 1st and 10, Haddix off the left side. Picks up 2 yards, and that's all. Michael Downs and Anthony Dickerson make the play. So it'll be 2nd down and about 8. You saw the San Francisco 49ers leading the New Orleans Saints 17-0. The Giants in Washington, the Redskins lead the Giants in the 2nd quarter 10-7. Detroit over Tampa Bay in the 2nd quarter.
Well, they lost a tough one last week, talking about Tampa Bay. Look at the Rams and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh now 14-7 over the Rams.
San Diego all over Houston.
They evidently don't miss Chuck Muncie very much.
Guess not. 2nd down and 8 at the 40-yard line. Under 5 minutes to play in the first half. Jaworski up the middle. Spagnola with the catch, diving forward, and may have another first down. They like Spagnola because somehow, some way, Hank, he always gets open. And he did there.
Yeah, he's a very determined player, and he reads coverages very well at the tight end position. They like him so well that he designed a play. They just call it 3 open, let him get open. There you see it. Back in the pocket, pressure, White inside, Dutton inside, throws the ball to Spagnola, but he gets upfield as quickly as he possibly can and gets the most out of the play and gets the first down.
So quietly and inexorably, the Eagles moving the ball. They're now at the Cowboy 32-yard line. Spagnola, tight end. With that reception, they go to Mike Quick, his first reception of the ball game, and a first down inside the 20. And you might ask, where have they been hiding him? Well, they've been waiting for that play. Well, 16 yards.
They had single coverage that time, and the safety man was up in a line of scrimmage. They held him with a fake. Quick had a lot of room on the inside of the corner, and he got the ball. Look at play action, fake inside, plenty of time. Boy, he throws the ball right on the money in front of and inside of Everson Walls, number 24.
Mike Quick last year led the NFL in receiving yards, over 1,400. He runs all the intricate patterns for the Eagles. 1st and 10 for Philadelphia on the 16 of Dallas. Here's Montgomery. Jeffcoat hits him, and now everyone else, including John Dutton. So they're stopping the run effectively. That's one thing Dallas is doing.
They really are, and here again it was another counter play. They fake it one way and go back to the left. Ron Baker, number 63, the guard, gets a good trap block on the play. But in spite of that, while they stuff it in good shape, Jeffcoat gets a piece of the tackle, and so does Randy White, number 54.
Montgomery comes out of the game, and Vito Cab, number 84, second tight end, is in there. It'll be 2nd down and 10. 2:45 remain in the half.
They had a bump and run initially. I thought they'd try to go up on top with Mike Quick, but they backed off.
Jaworski up the middle, and Kenny Jackson with Michael Downs, and Ron Fellows defending almost was able to hold on to that. They were going for 6 right there to Jackson. It'll be 3rd and 10.
It was a deceptive defensive play because they lined up on the line of scrimmage like he was going to be bump and run, and you like to throw up on top anytime you see that happen, but they backed off at the last minute. There was a slight adjustment pattern run on the play, meaning that he changed his course, ran inside, and almost got away with it for a touchdown.
That's the time remaining in the first half. Kenny Jackson, who Jaworski told us yesterday is going to be a great receiver, but he's got just a raw talent right now. And now the Eagles call their first timeout. They have 2 remaining, and a good time for the timeout in a 6-0 ball game, and 3rd and 10. Well, college football next Saturday on CBS Sports, 3:30 Eastern Time. Intersectional battle between the Nebraska Cornhuskers and UCLA. Last year it was all Nebraska, 42-10. And so UCLA, a lot of people think they could eventually be the national champions.
I talked to Coach Donahue before the season. He was very, very excited about his team, and I think he thinks they've got a great chance to do a big job.
Nebraska can roll it up over a lot of folks, can't they?
Oh, they murder. They're murder. They ought to be in a professional league. They're big and they're strong, and they got good folks. Uh-oh, there's Coach Landry walking up and down the sideline, very excited about what's happening.
He never, you know, somebody asked him, how come you never show excitement? He says, I'm always thinking of the next play.
Yeah, and he does. Yeah, he does. He's excited inside, but you don't see it outside. But as I said, you know, talking to him yesterday, he was in a good mood, wasn't he?
He was, but when you're 1-1, you can afford to be in a good mood when the team that beat you last year is 0-2.
And of course, the other thing is, and I think he feels within the framework of the division, he doesn't think anybody's going to dominate. He still feels that the Washington Redskins are the best team in this division. They're the team to beat, is what he said yesterday.
3rd down and 10. Jaworski completed his first pass, then missed 10 straight, has come back some.
Got the 7 defensive backs in there.
Montgomery in motion. Jaworski has some time. His pass is caught by Mike Quick, and he's going to go in for the touchdown. Mike Quick, who did not play last week, and as he said yesterday to us, he says, well, it's America's team. We just have to beat Dallas. He was excited about the game, and now what is Kenny Jackson complaining about? A penalty flag has been thrown, and I wonder what it's all about. They're lining up as if a point extra is going to be attempted.
Officials are talking it over.
Could be a taunting penalty. Chuck Heverling may tell us that it was the taunting rule.
We have an unsportsmanlike conduct against the offensive team after the score. The 5-yard penalty will be enforced on a kickoff. It is a touchdown.
It is a touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct, and that is the taunting penalty, which went into effect this season. And you're looking at Paul McFadden, the barefooted kicker, 12th round draft choice from Youngstown State. That's where Jaworski, the holder, is from.
You know who the first barefooted kicker was?
Who?
Joe Kulikakui from the University of Hawaii.
Oh, I thought so. The extra point is good, and the Eagles have taken a 7-6 lead. They'll mark the penalty off on the kickoff.
Here we see, watch Clinksdale blitzing on the play. I don't know whether you see him or not. Jaworski stays in there tough, and Victor Scott is covering on the play. Quick runs an inside pattern right on the money, touchdown. Watch Quick, watch Thurman, 32. He cuts in front of Thurman. The ball is right on the money. He makes the catch, and
let's see what he does now. There's no problem, right?
No problem. No.
Now it's a problem.
Now, there we go.
Now it's more of a problem.
Now we got a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. They say it's pretty. Now Kenny Jackson says, wait a second. But you know what? The way the Eagles have been playing, I don't blame them for doing that now. Do you, after the way their offense is?
Yeah, you're right.
You know, this is a big thing for them. And the Eagles have now taken a 7-6 lead over the Cowboys with 2:28 showing.
That display showed happiness. Justifiably so.
Nothing wrong with being happy, right?
Yep, and enthusiastic.
This team was 5-11 last year, the Eagles were. Mike Quick, great addition to this ball club out of North Carolina State. And of course, Marion Campbell said when they first looked at films of him before they drafted him, all they saw were blocking film.
Yeah, that was a funny story, wasn't it? When We talked about that.
McFadden kicking off.
Looking for a receiver, and all you see him do is block.
Gary Allen bringing it back. Allen still going out to the 37-yard line. 26-yard return by Gary Allen. Brings the ball out. Here's a scoring drive capped by the 16-yard touchdown pass. Ron Jaworski. Next week, this is what we've got in store for you. It's a doubleheader week. The first game, you'll see one of these contests. San Francisco, Philadelphia, St. Louis and New Orleans, Minnesota, Detroit. The Redskins travel to New England. The second game will be the Packers against these Cowboys. Chicago at Seattle. Tampa Bay at the New York Giants. Check your local listings for what game you'll see in your area. It all starts with the NFL today. 1st and 10 Cowboys. Pass to Ron Springs. First down and out of bounds. You know, you can be glowing in the touchdown, and before you know it, the Cowboys can be knocking on your door again.
That's the one thing about the Cowboys. They always have been a big play team. They look like they're sleepwalking a lot of the times during the course of a game. Look very unimpressive, and all of a sudden you look up and Dorsett or somebody makes a big play and they're right back in the game.
2:13 to go. Cowboys have all 3 of their timeouts left, and of course they're going to get the extra edge of the 2-minute warning. They're in Eagle territory at the 49. Eagles 7, Cowboys 6. Jaworski to Quick, 16 yards, the only touchdown in the game so far. Hogeboom flushed out, batted up, and that might have been Dennis Harrison who got a hand on it. He really pushed back the Dallas offensive line right side.
We got a replay of this coming up. Anthony Griggs, number 58, is blitzing on the play, but he's very hesitant, very tentative. He doesn't really get good penetration. There you see him try to throw the ball, and number 68, Dennis Harrison, knocked the ball down.
He really pushed Jim Cooper back. Cooper has been the most consistent offensive lineman, according to Tom Landry. But it's 2nd and 10, 2:09 on the clock. Hogeboom going to the sideline, and it's almost intercepted. Bernard Wilson has had 2 big chances for interceptions, including that one.
There again, he went right back into the pocket and looked to the right all the way. Watch it. Here's Donley going downfield against Bernard Wilson. Gets him out of the backdrop, turns him. The ball is thrown to the outside, and it was tripped. Donley looked like he might have tripped on the play, but in spite of that, he looked the ball in that area all the way. And I think that's why Bernard Wilson got such a good jump on the ball.
3rd down 10. That's what Hogeboom has done so far today. Waddell Smith, number 86, is the 3rd wide receiver. To the left. Hogeboom looking his way. The pass is caught by Ron Springs, and a first down for the Cowboys at the 37-yard line. And we're going to have our 2-minute warning now. So the Cowboys are in good position. Edwards and Wilson both made the tackle. So we have the 2-minute warning now. Cowboys trail by 1. And they have the ball 1st and 10 on the Philadelphia 37 when we come back.
When your kids join the NFL Super Pro Club, they're part of their favorite team. Members get an official ID card from their favorite team.
Team decal and a whole lot more.
Wow!
Like this team calendar with action photos of their favorite team stars and a giant poster of their favorite team.
It's also a fact sheet full of team information and exciting photos that will look great on anyone's wall. A standing board to track their team through the season to the Super Bowl.
Yeah!
It's worth a whole lot more than the $7 membership fee, and your kid can have it all. To join the NFL Super Pro Club, just send member's name, address, name of favorite NFL team, and a $7 check or money order to
NFL Super Pro Club, Box 9000, Trenton, New Jersey, 08650.
And your kids can join the team.
The preceding message was furnished by the National Football League.
The Cowboys have all of their timeouts remaining, and Philadelphia putting in their defense, and they're going with the 4-men front. Harrison, Armstrong, Darby, and Greg Brown. There's the timeout story on the clock. So, Hank, I guess they want to put some pressure on Gary Hogeboom, and prevent a score and maybe get them out of field goal range if they can.
They better put pressure on it.
1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Going right to the shotgun on 1st and 10, and the pass. And a good catch by Waddell Smith. It was behind him, but Smith made the play. He was on the receiving end of many of Warren Moon's tosses with Edmonton in the Canadian League, and they won several Grey Cup titles up there.
They went to 4 specifically for Edmonton.
Lining up without a huddle, and now the Dallas Cowboys, we have a whistle, and now we have an injury. Herman Edwards is limping off.
You know, in Canada, talking about Waddell Smith, he caught 342 passes for 5,517 yards and 51 touchdowns. Boy, that's a lot of, you wear a lot of shoes doing that, don't you?
And he was with the Raiders this year.
And was the last one to get cut right before cut-down date.
And so, you know, the Raiders have an abundance of wide receivers, and so this might have been a smart move for the Cowboys.
Well, I think it really was, and I think anytime, you know, anybody goes to the Raiders, you know he must possess good speed or else they don't look at you. And so he's got that great speed, and he could help the Cowboys.
The other wide receiver that the Dallas Cowboys have brought along recently is a familiar face to Philadelphia fans and the Eagles, Harold Carmichael, the veteran in his 13th year, who is in uniform and hasn't gotten into the game yet. There he is, number 17.
He said yesterday, be sure and say hello to my wife, Bea, and my family. I've been away from home for a while. Be sure and tell them all's going well and best wishes.
Well, why don't you go do that, Hank?
I'm going to do it again. Let's go through that again. Let's do that.
Yeah, Harold Carmichael, not quite in shape, they say, as well as Waddell Smith is at this point, but there he is, Harold Carmichael, in a strange situation, being with the enemy, watching his old team.
But he's excited about having the opportunity to play again. The great thing about he's got a lot of class, no sour grapes about Philadelphia. He just wants to do a good job for the Cowboys.
That timeout the Eagles had to call, so the Eagles helped the Cowboys with a timeout. Here is a handoff to Tony Dorsett out of the spread offense, and Dorsett will stop the clock if nothing else. And now they say the clock is running at the 28-yard line. 127 showing. Dorsett has gained 53 yards.
One thing, at one time that you very rarely see him make a mistake as far as running is concerned. That time he had a chance to go inside, and he chose to go outside. He would have made a lot more yardage going inside.
Elbert Fowles drove him out of bounds. Let's check some scores for you. The Cowboys have called a timeout. They have 2 remaining. Redskins over the Giants 13-7, and they're in the second quarter in Washington.
And Detroit still leads Tampa 14-7, but Tampa evidently is playing a very good game.
Steelers continue over the Rams 14-7. Ferragamo is out, and Jeff Kemp is the quarterback.
And look at San Diego 28-7 over Houston. Boy, they're playing strong, very explosive as they normally are.
Vince Ferragamo has gotten off to a very rough start this year for the Rams, and he is hurt, and Jeff Kemp, the backup, is in the ball game now. Score is 14-7 in favor of the Steelers. It is a hand injury.
There's Marion Campbell shouting encouragement to his team. Chuck Clausen is also on his side, along with Fred Bruni, who also is the assistant to the head coach.
It'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Cowboys. 1:22 showing on the clock. They have 2 timeouts remaining. They're on the Eagle 28-yard line and trailing Philadelphia 7-6. Salonen, the tight end, in motion. Ron Springs has a first down to the 25. Ken Clark, the nose tackle, makes the play. And now the Cowboys call another timeout. They have 1 remaining as Gary Hogeboom goes to the sidelines. Coming up at halftime, Brent and Irv and legends of the game. Guy that starred here, Bob Hayes, the great wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys.
I'll never forget Hayes. He had, you know, lightning speed, and of course we were playing him in Kansas City one year in our old stadium, and it was a very close game. They were on about the 10-yard line. Craig Morton was the quarterback. They ran an automatic. We were in a blitzing situation, and he ran a slant pass, and I thought he was going to run right through the tunnel. He ran about 90 yards for the touchdown. Was still running the last time I saw him.
You know, this is the 25th anniversary of the Dallas Cowboys, also the 25th anniversary this year of the American Football League, and Hank Stram, who is the winningest coach in the American Football League. You started right here with that league right here in Dallas.
Yes, right back here in Dallas is right. We started in the Cotton Bowl, and we had a lot of laughs, and a lot of fun, a lot of fond memories.
Then you had to go to Kansas City and win a Super Bowl.
Well, that was fun too.
1st and 10 for the Cowboys. at the 25, 1:17 remaining. They have one timeout left. Hogeboom has gone for 6 to Ron Springs. He's got it. Touchdown. Touchdown. Five-yard play, Hank.
What happened on the play, Anthony Griggs, 58, was covering man for man. That's what you want. Watch 58. He's covering number 20, Springs. Watch it. Man for man. Plenty of time to throw the ball. Look at it. And he just can't do it. It's a tough responsibility if you don't get a good pass rush for Anthony Griggs, the linebacker, to cover Ron Springs. They change the scoreboard. They get 6 on the board.
Ron Springs caught more passes amongst running backs in the NFL than anyone else last year. And now Hogeboom holding for Septien. And the kick is good. And so with 1:11 on the clock, the Dallas Cowboys have regained the lead. It is 13-7. And Septien, with 2 field goals and an extra point now, with 601 points for his career, is the leading scorer in Dallas Cowboy history.
How about Septien? Yesterday at practice, all he talked about was playing racquetball. He wanted to play racquetball for a little bit. He had about an hour off, and he's a good one. He's a champion. There's no way in the world I was going to play him.
And of course, he has, fond memories for you. I know that you and Septien go way back.
Well, yes, we drafted in number 6 when I was in New Orleans, and we thought he was going to be a great kicker. But at that time, he had a long way to go, and he went a long way. He went from New Orleans to Los Angeles, which is a long way. And then from there, he came back to Dallas, and he's really earned the right to be one of the great kickers in professional football.
Got to watch you. Got to watch you. Septien will kick off, and let's see what the Eagles can do in 1:11. They'll probably show it. There's Hayes back, a 2-minute offense that if they had used that all game, they might have piled up some more points. Who knows? Anyway, it'll be Septien kicking off to Joe Hayes. 13-7, the Cowboys lead. For Hogeboom, that was his 3rd touchdown pass of the season. Kick is short on the far side. Major Everett bringing it back, spinning his way, and gets to the 25-yard line, where 1:06 remain. And now Billy Cannon, the rookie from Texas A&M and a linebacker, and looks like Lawrence Sampleton, one of the tight ends of the Eagles, saying I guess they both played in Texas, didn't they? Sampleton was at Texas and Cannon at Texas A&M.
Yeah, they're maintaining that rivalry. And I talked to Billy yesterday. Had a nice visit with him about his situation. He's excited about what his situation is here in Dallas. Plus the fact we had a nice visit about his daddy, who used to play for us. He was a great player for the Houston Oilers, the Oakland Raiders, and also for us in Kansas City.
Here's Heberling.
Unnecessary roughness, number 52 on the white, number 87 on the green. They will offset. They were after the dead ball. First down.
Offsetting penalties. Here's the scoring drive for the Cowboys. Didn't take long, did it? 1:17. And Ron Springs, 25 yards. There he is. Dallas Cowboys is lined up just about everywhere. They use him as a motion man. He can be a wide receiver. He can be a wing back in the slot.
You don't realize how big he is. He's 6'1", 218.
Jaworski out of the shotgun. 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Pressure. Fires. Caught by Wilbert Montgomery. Puts the straight arm on Victor Scott, and they're out of bounds at the 38-yard line and stops the clock with 59 seconds to go. That was a 14-yard pickup.
Montgomery doesn't look like he lost anything since the last time we saw him play. He's a great competitor and really gives this offense a dimension that they need desperately. You know, one thing that's impressive about the Eagles is that they're staying within what they do well. And we talked about this a little while ago. Jaworski said that we're not going to deviate from what we do best. And I think they've stayed with that plan, and this is a program I think that Teddy Marchibroda has tried to install, and I think he's done it well.
1st and 10 with 59 seconds to play. They got one timeout left. Montgomery going out on a swing pass. Holds onto it. Montgomery to the 45 and goes out of bounds at midfield. Another first down and another penalty thrown.
Boy, he caught that at the end of the ball that time. Looked like it had a little hook on it. But it was a great catch, but it looks like it's a penalty against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ineligible receiver downfield for Philadelphia. That hurts because they weren't in bad shape at midfield with the clock stopped. But that'll be nullified.
Number 65, ineligible receiver, downfield on the pass. First down.
Mark Dennard, who's a former Miami Dolphin center and was a starter there a couple of years, and then Dwight Stevenson, the All-Pro, came along. He was downfield, so it'll be first down and 20. Back at the 29-yard line. That's the score. The Cowboys leading 13-7. They led 6-0 on a couple of field goals by Septien, long ones. Philadelphia came back with a touchdown before Dallas regained the lead.
I think centers like to play against Dallas because they don't have anybody on their nose, and it's kind of a Sunday off as far as that responsibility is concerned.
Does that again, he'll get next Sunday off. First and 20, Jaworski going for Quick. Actually, they had Quick and Jackson in the same area. Second down on the incompletion.
And Too Tall Jones that time got through there with pretty good penetration. Well, he's starting to pick up a little bit. He started slowly, but as I mentioned earlier, you're not going to, a great quarterback like Jaworski, he's going to have some bad moments, but he's not going to have them for 4 quarters. And I think that's a proven fact so far because he has come back and played much, much better.
And Hank, the big thing, too, is that he has stayed on his feet. He was sacked 53 times last year, and so far 5 times, none so far in this game. Second down and 20, 47 seconds remaining in the first half.
7 defensive backs again.
That's that 4-0 defense. Jaworski, and it was a low pass. Montgomery couldn't handle it. It'll be 3rd and 20. Now that 4-0 defense we've been talking a lot about, and basically there are 7 defensive backs. Here's how they play, Hank.
Yes, they have 4 defensive linemen. Of course, Dexter Clinksdale plays a linebacker, and he's a safety, and Victor Scott a linebacker, and he plays a safety. Now you see Everson Walls, he plays a corner, Fellows a corner, and Carl Howard, number 21, a corner. That's what they're doing. They're trying, and here we got Michael Downs also at the safety position, along with Dennis Thurman.
So they use the 7 backs, and of course 2 of them, though, are blitzing linebackers.
And they're trying to lick those 2 linebackers, 2 defensive backs who are playing like linebackers. They've had people open, but they haven't got the ball to them.
3rd and 20, going up on top is Jaworski, and the ball, Tony Woodruff makes the catch, and he's out of bounds with 35 seconds to go at the 33-yard line, a 38-yard gain. He beat Fellows and Downs. Tony Woodruff, a skilled receiver in his 3rd year, made quite a catch.
And that was possible because they did not get a good pass rush. You see, they only had rushed 4 people, dropped back 7. He had plenty of time to throw the ball, and Woodruff made a great catch on the sideline, even though he was double covered that time by Michael Downs on the play, and also Howard.
38-yard gain. Woodruff, whose first reception in the NFL was a touchdown against the Bears. 1st and 10 at the Cowboy 33 with 35 seconds remaining. Eagles still have that 1 timeout in the bank. Jaworski going to the sideline, complete again to Woodruff. Another first down. Clock stops again at the 23. The 2-minute offense looks good here, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Here you see him come off the ball that time, breaks it to the outside on Fellows, number 27. The ball is on the money. He makes the catch, number 83, Tony Woodruff. But it's it doesn't make any difference if you don't put pressure on the quarterback. I don't care how many guys you got covering. You got to put the pressure on the quarterback, and they haven't been able to do it with 4 people. We'll be interested to see now if they rush the 2 linebackers.
31 seconds to play in the first half. 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. They are in field goal range.
Here's
the Eagles are. Here comes the blitz. Jaworski getting rid of it, going for Quick, and Jackson both in the right corner, incomplete. 26 seconds now show on the clock. And Hank, this may be of interest to you. Of the Eagles' 34 plays today, 24 of them have been passes.
Yeah, it really is not a surprise because Jaworski said that he would like to throw the ball. He'd like to throw the ball 40, 45 times a game. Coach Campbell would like to run the ball a little bit more. But with the game being played the way it is with man-for-man coverage, why they're going to throw the ball more. The other interesting thing is at that time they had Clinksdale and Scott blitzing on the play, and that makes all the difference in the world. No, it wasn't Clinksdale, it was Scott blitzing on the play.
They still have that 1 timeout. 3rd down, 2nd down and 10 at the 26-yard line.
4-man rush this time, no blitz.
Pressure, pass intended for Michael Haddix. He was defended by Clinkscale, and it'll be 3rd down and 10 with 22 seconds remaining.
You know, the other thing is, from a quarterback standpoint, when you see the blitz coming, even though you know you're going to change the play or take advantage of one-for-one coverage, you still are a little antsy. You know that you're going to have to throw the ball quickly. And for that reason, the anticipation factor is involved. And you throw the ball sometimes a little quicker than you should.
What do you do now? 3rd and 10. You go for a touchdown attempt, and then if not, then go for McFadden for 3?
No, I think you got to try to get the first down if you can. Now, if they got the right kind of coverage, they're doubling, so you're going to have to throw the ball inside, it looks like, and try to get the first down.
They have to get it inside the 12-yard line for that first down.
The area between the hash marks looks
3rd
like
and
it's
10,
open.
the pass overthrown, intended for Montgomery, and covered by Victor Scott.
Right between the hash marks. That's exactly where it had to be thrown, but it was thrown too high.
So it is 4th down, and now we're going to see Paul McFadden come into the ball game to try to bring the Eagles to within 3 points at halftime. He is having a good year, as you can see. He is 6 for 7, and last week against the Minnesota Vikings, he kicked 4 field goals, and the Eagles hadn't done that in a long time. Jaworski will hold. It'll be a 40-yard attempt. 40-yard attempt, 18 seconds remain in the first half. Barefooted kicker from Youngstown State. The kick is up, the kick is good, and McFadden makes good again. He is 7 of 8 on the year, and the Eagles have come within 3, 13-10 of the Dallas Cowboys with 14 seconds remaining in the first half. But Hank, the point you made earlier was right about Jaworski, and it shouldn't go unnoticed. He got off to a very rough start, had 2 interceptions, Hegman and Downs, but he's come back and he is cool as a veteran is at this time, and he's brought Philadelphia back into this ball game, and they're very much in it.
You know, the other great thing about, there's Ron Jaworski on the sideline now, delightful guy to talk to and very involved in the program and feels strongly about this team. But the great thing about calling the plays for the sideline is that even though sometimes a quarterback has a bad quarter or so, if he's calling his own plays, sometimes they're a little reluctant to do what they normally do well and come back and throw the ball as much as they should. The coaches are calling the plays and they come right back with a pass, and that helps an awful lot from a morale standpoint.
McFadden will be kicking off. Fellows and Allen are back for the Cowboys. Last year it was Tony Franklin to do the place kicking and Max Rudiger the punting, and a new group of rookies in there for Philadelphia, and they look pretty good. Here is Allen at the 5-yard line bringing it back. He has a head of steam going, and Gary Allen is finally brought down by 4 green jerseys at the 33-yard line, and it was Joe Hayes who gets credit for the tackle, a 29-yard return. 7 seconds remaining. Want to remind you, coming up at halftime, Brandon Irv with scores and highlights, and legends of the game, Bob Hayes, who of course is one of maybe the first really great wide receiver. Hank talked about his experience. Bob Hayes with the Dallas Cowboys.
There's still a lot of scorch marks on the field there at the Cotton Bowl where he used to run those deep patterns. Boy, he could really burn the turf.
Hogeboom is 12 for 23 for 178 yards and a touchdown. And here is Springs going down, and that will run out the clock. That is the end of the first half here at Texas Stadium. Tom Landry is seeing his Dallas Cowboys locked in a battle. It's Dallas 13, Philadelphia 10. We'll be back after this.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by General Motors. Extra time, extra effort, and attention to every detail. GM is committed to excellence. AT&T Computers from AT&T Information Systems, when you've got to be right. And by Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do chicken right.
My dandruff shampoo is good.
Maybe you should try something else. My dandruff shampoo really works.
Maybe you should try something else, like Selsun Blue. Doctors and pharmacists recommend Selsun Blue more than all other leading brands combined. It's #1. What that means to you is no leading brand gets rid of dandruff better than Selsun Blue. Ask your doctor or pharmacist, or try it yourself. That's all the proof you'll need. Selsun Blue. It's #1.
In today's Army, when artillery goes to the field, so does high technology.
Be all that you can be. Keep on reaching. Keep on growing.
Computers, laser-guided missiles, and teamwork honed to a split-second response. Only the Army gives you this kind of training with just a 2-year enlistment.
You can do it in the Army.
Hold it! Can anyone here name a copier maker that's bigger than Ricoh?
Xerox.
Ricoh's bigger.
IBM?
Ricoh's bigger. And we got to be bigger than Xerox by making a full line of copiers that win top marks for quality, like this Ricoh 6080 console copier.
What a revelation.
Now, are you still overlooking Ricoh and the Ricoh 6080? Call Ricoh. We respond.
Welcome back to New York. I'm Brent Musburger with Irv Cross. Irv, I figure the way things are going, we can join 60 Minutes about 8:30 after this. It was a long first half, folks. There's a lot of excitement around the league. Let's get you up to date. I think this was the wildest game of the afternoon. Under glass in Indianapolis, 34-33. The Cardinals just did pull it out. They needed 2 big plays. This was one of them. Neil Lomax was 15 of 39, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns. His favorite receiver, Roy Green.
You know, Roy Green had problems in this game. He dropped 2 earlier balls that could have been touchdowns, but he makes it up on this one, going all the way for the score.
Now, this pulled the Cardinals to within 2. They get it back. You got to be happy for Neil O'Donohue.
You really have to, because you know the miserable day he had on Monday Night Television against the Giants? Well, here he goes right now with the game on the line, a 46-yarder, nothing to it.
And the Cardinals go to 2-1 under Jim Hannafin, and Indianapolis sags to 1-2 under Frank Kush. The Jets had a huge day against Cincinnati, 43-23. The Bengals are 0-3 under Sam Weish. And for Joe Walton and the Jets, well, Freeman McNeil, what a game. 26 carries, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He was a load all day long for that Bengal defense. Kenny Anderson had this big play here to M.L. Harris, 80 yards, but it was a long, tough afternoon for Anderson. 4 interceptions. He was finally taken out by Weish, and Turk Schonert finished up for the Bengals. But Freeman McNeil, this is simply a marvelous run coming up here.
Brent, the great running backs run hard from tackle to tackle. Watch him hit this hole. Wham! Accelerate, breaks a tackle, and Mr. McNeil is off to the races. 150 yards on 26 carries today.
And the Jets now are 2-1 on the season, and New England had the comeback story of the day. They trailed Seattle 23-0. Steve Grogan had got him out of the game. They put the youngster Tony Eason in, and he sparked a 38-point rally for the Patriots in that game. Minnesota wins for the first time this year under Coach Les Steckel. He does run a camp, though, doesn't he? A military camp. 27-20 was the final. The Vikes and Tommy Kramer had his first touchdown pass of the season. The Raiders in Kansas City, this was the most dramatic game of the afternoon. Just inside of 5 minutes, the Chiefs went ahead. They were moving the ball very well on the league's toughest defense. Herman Hurd got the corner turn and got in. Now the Chiefs kick off, and then here come the Raiders, Irv.
You know what they're going to do. They're going deep. Plunkett goes to Malcolm Barnwell, who steps out of bounds at the 5-yard line after a 42-yard reception, setting up the game winner.
Tried to score the touchdown, 3 times failed. Chris Barr then hit the winner from 18 yards out, and the Raiders stay unbeaten with that 2-point victory over the tough Chiefs, who are 2-1. Chicago and Green Bay up at Lambeau Field. 3 field goals win it for the Bears, 9-7. But it may turn out to be a very costly win for Chicago. Jim McMahon missed the entire second half because of a bad back and that injured hand. But Walter Payton's confident he'll get back for Seattle.
You know, Jim is a competitor. You know, he had the fracture in his wrist and he came out. But the major problem was his back, and he re-injured that. So, you know, we have to wait and see what's going to happen next week. But I'm sure, knowing him, he's going to try to get out there.
Peyton and the other Bears picked up the slack. He rushed for 110 yards, and now he's within 337 of Jim Brown.
I like big challenges, and I like something to motivate me. This is my 10th year into the league, and this is a motivator for me. And it can only enhance the output of this team by my performance, because I'm going to work as hard as I can to get whatever I can.
Bears stay unbeaten. You'll see him take his next step in pursuit of Jimmy Brown's record next Sunday on CBS when the Bears tangle out in Seattle against Franco Harris and the Seahawks. Harris did not have a good afternoon for Seattle. He rushed for only 25 yards in that game. Detroit and Tampa Bay are now in the 3rd quarter down in Tampa. 14-7, the Lions with a 7-point lead there. In the 3rd quarter in San Francisco, the 49ers and the Saints are tied at 17. The story here is the fact that Richard Todd has been taken out of the game, and the Snake. Kenny Stabler is bringing the Saints all the way back. There he is just moments ago, tossing the touchdown pass that earned them a 17-17 tie in the third quarter. Houston and San Diego, they've gone to the third quarter, 28-7. You guys say, Dan Fouts is going wild. A lot of touchdown passes. Wrong. Ernest Jackson has rushed for 3 touchdowns for the Chargers. In fact, Fouts hasn't thrown a single touchdown pass in that game, but he still is having a huge afternoon. Pittsburgh and the Rams are in the third quarter. Vince Ferragamo suffered a broken finger on his throwing hand. Jeff Kemp is in there. The Steelers lead the Rams 14-7. Giants and the Redskins have gone to the third quarter. Redskins lead it 13-7. It has become a tough defensive war, as you might expect there, with the Giants, who have one of the best defenses in the league. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys right now, of course, they are at the half, 13-10. Cowboys, what are the Eagles going to try to do in the second half?
I think the Eagles are going to get after the Red Dogs. You know, but I think the thing we're going to want to keep in mind, though, is that Petey Perot's done a good job on Randy White all day.
The NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
Well, he's ugly.
Elliot Gould stars in a 1-hour preview of ER.
Get back of the white line.
But what's George Jefferson doing here?
Would you tell her I'm not really a doctor?
That's okay. She's not really sick.
Then Uncle Sam's giving Richard Pryor the runaround. His wife's giving him the heave-ho, and the only woman who cares costs too much. Richard Pryor stars in Some Kind of Hero after the special preview of ER tonight.
This is CBS.
Lead to the Legends. Back in the early 60s, the struggling Dallas Cowboys drafted an Olympic champion whose dazzling speed helped transform the Cowboys into winners. And today, Irv Cross begins a new season with the series Legends of the Game, the story of the man they call Bullet Bob Hayes.
In the 1964 Olympics, the USA relay team trailed by 9 yards until their anchor person turned it on down the stretch. The race was won, and an American Olympic hero was born. That American hero soon became part of America's team. And for NFL defensive backs, the reality was quite simple. If you let him get away, he was gone. Never before had the NFL seen a man with the speed of Bullet Bob Hayes.
I think I brought a dimension into pro football where the coaches, they had to find a solution. So I'm thinking in terms of zone defense, more or less was originated because of me.
Unlike other track stars, Hayes had pass-catching skills to go with his world-class speed. And his 76 career touchdowns still stand as a Cowboy record.
You had the big wide receivers and, you know, the Warfields and the Gary Collins and those guys that I consider, you know, real great wide receivers. And I don't know where I would place, but hopefully I would place among those guys. No doubt the name Bob Hayes is there.
Bob Bob Hayes retired from pro football in 1974. In 1979, Hayes went to prison on a drug charge and served a 10-month sentence, an event that cost him his status as an American hero. Bob, you're an Olympic champion. Did the U.S. Olympic Committee try to get a hold of you to have you participate in the games in Los Angeles?
No.
They've forgotten Bob Hayes, too.
Bob Hayes was forgotten in that area. And I'm a big boy. You know, I'm not feeling sorry for myself because I didn't get out there. But what I accomplished in the Olympics, you know, I think is second to none. You know, coming from behind 9 yards in a relay and you're winning. And you're timed in an 8.4 to 8.6 seconds. I mean, you know, that's phenomenal. And, you know, those memories lingers on. And when the Olympics comes around in Los Angeles, I want to be a part of and associated with it. Even just sitting out there watching, you know, looking or commentating or asking questions, anything.
At a preseason game in Texas Stadium, Dallas fans welcomed the 1984 USA medal winners. And only a pint-sized gymnast from West Virginia received more applause than a forgotten hero.
Also in midfield, former Dallas Cowboy Olympian Bob Hayes.
Though the athletes he mingled with were 2 generations removed from his achievements, they all knew the legend of Bullet Bob Hayes.
I've seen you play, run. You were one of the greatest of all time.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Going on a freezing day.
Presto.
What brings football fans up to Green Bay? Presto.
Why does your car need a fresh fill of Prestone? After just 10,000 miles of driving on weak, neglected antifreeze, a radiator could look this bad. While a Prestone radiator looks this good. That's the Prestone difference.
What brings them to the mountains from wherever they call home? America goes with Prestone.
I mortgaged my house to get my first tug. Believe me, the Jeannie T needed plenty of work.
Good night, Skipper.
Today, I own 2 others just like her. Because we give our customers a good, honest pull for the money, and that pays off. People who make Meisterbrow work the same way. These days, I can pick any beer I want. This tastes as good as Budweiser, and it doesn't cost as much. Gentlemen, the drinking lamp is lit.
Meisterbrow. Tastes as good as Budweiser at a better price.
Staying in shape gives my career an extra edge. Speed Stick deodorant gives me an edge, too. Speed Stick's the wide stick for man-sized odor protection. Feels good going on, and it takes just a few strokes. Today, you need an edge.
The wide stick gives you the edge. Speed Stick deodorant.
Shaving's rough on sensitive skin, but aftershave skin conditioner soothes.
Sensible care for sensitive skin. AFTA.
By Menon.